Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and today we are reviewing another card by Suleman in his 5-color card collection. Here we got a card called Demon Parade. This is a 3-mana creature demon with a wall of text on it. So let's go ahead and figure out what's going on here. It's a 2/1. Okay, so stats are pretty low. This is a primary red. Whenever Demon Parade attacks, exile the top card of your library. If it's a demon or devil creature card, put it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice it and put a +1/+1 counter on Demon Parade. Otherwise, if it's a non-land card with mana value less than or equal to Demon Parade's power, until end of turn, you may cast it from exile without paying its mana cost. When you do, put a -1/-1 counter on Demon Parade. That's a lot of words, man. That's a lot of words. Listen, man, we're not here to read novels, you know. We're here to play Magic the Gathering. All right, if I wanted to read Pride and Prejudice, I would have read Pride and Prejudice. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see what's going on here. So I'm going to have to read this again to really digest it. Okay, so you attack with this guy. You exile the top card of your library. If it's a demon or devil, you put it onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next step and put a +1/+1 counter on Demon Parade. I love how otherwise is like halfway down here. Otherwise, if it's a non-land card with mana value less than or equal to Demon Parade's power until end of turn, you cast from exile without paying its mana cost. When you do, put a -1/-1 counter on Demon Parade. Okay, so I feel like you've gone a little high here on complexity, a little too high on complexity. So this is a Demon Parade. So you get a +1/+1 counter, and you put the demon in, and he comes in tapped and attacking. But otherwise, you can cast it, and you get smaller. Yeah, man, I'm feeling like that this one's gone a little bit too off the rails here when it comes to complexity. Let's see. Okay, so the idea of the Demon Parade is that it consists of demons. Yes, that's the idea, right? So I don't hate this, like, you exile top card of your library. If it's demon or devil, you put it on the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking, and you get a +1/+1 counter because you've like added a demon to your parade or whatever, right? But like, if it's a not okay, and then there's this like very complex other clause, which is if it's a non-land card with mana value less than or equal to Demon Parade's power until every time you cast from exile without paying its mana cost, when you do, put a -1/-1. So like what's the deal here? Like a demon leaves and casts a spell and leaves? Is that what's going on? Yeah, I don't know. This one doesn't feel like it really needs this second clause. This is a little bit too complex for me. I feel like keep that top one right there. I mean, here's probably something you can do is hold on a second. Let's just I'm just going to attempt once again to sort of like reword this card, and this is just for myself. Demon. Okay, so whenever Demon Parade attacks, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. If that card is a demon or devil, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Demon Parade. So, let me just read this. Whenever Demon Parade attacks, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. If that card is a demon or devil, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Demon Parade. Okay, so like here, this is a little bit... This isn't exactly what you're trying to accomplish, right? Like, but I think this card would benefit from some simplicity, right? So here, like, whenever it attacks, you're essentially drawing a card, as long as you can cast that card, right? And you're still doing it in a red way, right? And you still get, if it's demon or devil, you get it for free, and you put a +1/+1 counter on it, right? I'll put it on the battlefield. Oh yeah, so that's not like quite there. Okay. Until end of turn, you may cast a card. If that card is a demon or devil, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter. If you do, sacrifice that creature at the beginning of your next end step. If you do, let's see, put a +1/+1 counter on Demon Parade and sacrifice that creature at the beginning of the next end step. Okay? Something like that. I think something like that, I mean, I guess you could also change this to, you could put it on the battlefield, whatever. But something like that, like, sort of still keeps, like, the main sort of theme of this card without needing this, like, super complex other paragraph giant wall of text, right? So I think your card would benefit from some simplification. Okay, so let's go down our scorecard here. Presentation. So art's great. I wonder where you're getting your art from. Like, all the art seems to really fit the same theme, and it's all sort of like Asian inspired. That's neat. Let me know where you're getting your art from. Great art. The main thing that hurts you here is the wall of text. So I'm gonna take a couple points off for that. But besides that, it's a very it's perfect presentation on a card. Balance. Oh boy, how do I even think about this balance wise? I mean, the body's really small, so like, chances are you're only gonna get one trigger off of this guy because you have to attack, right? Okay, so I guess in Commander, sometimes you're going to have your friend who's like mana screwed, and you'll be able to like sort of use him as a punching bag to like get this guy beefy enough to survive. But even then, like, if you activate this guy twice, it's like a 4/3, and that's even that's like not that difficult. So you're really, most of the time, you're only going to be getting this guy like you're only going to be getting one or two attacks off this guy, it feels like. Now, if it's demon or devil, so, I mean, this is very powerful, right? Being able to put a demon or devil onto the battlefield, tap to attack. I mean, imagine if you just, like, attack with this guy and you just get a Grizzlebrand, right? You just, Grizzlebrand's in play. Attacking them for 7 lifelink, and you get to draw, like, your whole deck. Is Grizzlebrand legal in Commander? Hold on. Let me find this out. Scryfall. Grizzlebrand. Are you legal in Commander? You're banned in Commander. That makes sense, because you have a lot more life in Commander, right? So, like, if you get this guy in play, you're drawing a bazillion cards. Well, that's good. I like that Grizzlebrand's banned in Commander. But still, I'm sure there's plenty of ginormous demons to put in that are very scary, right? And, so, I mean, it's powerful ability. It's random. I mean, you can set it up, right? You know, put Vampiric Tutor. Is Vampiric Tutor legal in Commander? Let's see. Yes, it is. You guys have Vampiric Tutor legal in Commander? Come on. Yeah, so like you vamp. You could just straight up just vamp for like your best demon and put into play. I mean, that's fine though. It's just like, you know, it's a combo. Yeah, I mean, this card seems pretty balanced. It's like, so if you set it up, it's very powerful. If you don't set it up, like it at the very least replaces itself. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about my design. LOL. Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't necessarily replace itself. So this particular design has some fail cases, right? You attack with this thing, you reveal the top card. It's a 3-drop, and this guy just dies. I mean, he's a 2/1, right? He dies to anything. So that kind of sucks. That probably has more to do with gameplay, though. I mean, I would say this guy's got like a very high ceiling and a very low floor. But I mean, that's not necessarily a balance issue. So I guess I don't really have any issues balance wise here. I'll give you a 10 on balance. Novelty. Okay, I mean, this card isn't. I wouldn't say this card's particularly novel. I mean, we've seen Red do these types of things before, putting things on the battlefield, tapped and attacking, sacrificing them at the beginning of the next upkeep. You know, this one lets you cast from exile. I mean, this card's not particularly novel, I would say. So I'm going to go with a 6 on this. I'm going to go with a 5. I got to go with a 5. Average novelty. Average. All right, gameplay. So gameplay is really where this kind of has some issues, right? Is like, in some scenarios this thing's crazy good. What's like the best demon in Commander? Hold on, let's see. Best demon in Commander, MTG. What's the 10 best demons in Commander? Click on my clickbait. All right, what do we got here? Is this gonna let me? Oh wait, what? That's not a demon. Oh no! Look at Okay, I immediately want to leave the site. Just look at all these ads. Get out of here. What is this? Top 15 strongest demons in Commander. Oh, this is like an article. Oh god, what's happened to the internet, guys? Okay, Reddit. Reddit's got to have something, right? Okay, you know what? I hate this all. I'm not gonna look it up, but presumably there's some really good ones. So very high ceiling, very low floor, because again, more than likely this thing is going to die when it attacks. This guy might play a little better as like a 1/2. Hold on, everybody. Sorry. All right, the dogs have been quieted for now. So yeah, I feel like this guy might play a little bit better as a 1/2, just because it gives him more of an opportunity to survive combat. I mean, it still makes him unlikely to survive combat. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, I mean, it's not difficult to have a 2-power creature in play, but excuse me. But if you like hit the demon, then it becomes a 2/3. And that's a little bit easier to survive. I mean, remember, this guy costs 3, so you're not attacking with him until turn 4. So, like, even then, it's likely that he's just going to die. But at least it becomes more likely that he'll survive. Because, like, you have this whole thing about, like, growing the demon parade, but I just feel like, unfortunately, it's just rarely going to happen. Just because of how fragile this guy is, So yeah, I think because of that, like, really big disparity in power or in outcome, I'm gonna have to take a couple points off for gameplay here. Okay, so yeah, so gameplay, I'm gonna subtract some points here because of that big disparity, and gameplay might not be the right place for this, but I just find this second clause to just be like unnecessary, really. Like I know you still want to get value out of this card, if you miss, you know, but I think there's better ways of doing that than kind of this whole shenanigan here. So I'm gonna go with a 6 for gameplay on this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still like fun to attack and like put like a big thing into play. So like, you know, I'm all for that, right? Like I like that, but there's just a few issues with it. Okay, I'll go with it. I'll give you a 7 because it is fun to you know. Okay, so color identity. Okay, this one I don't think this one really had like. I don't think this one gets a high score for color identity. This is basically a red card. I mean, it's exiling the top card of your library. It's putting things on the battlefield tapped and attacking, sacrificing it at a turn. Okay, sure, you get a +1/+1 counter. Paying from exile without paying its mana cost. That's red. -1 counter. Okay, I mean, you could kind of say that these counters are maybe in some of the other colors, but like, what's your blue here? Like, okay, like, you know, maybe black because you put a -1/-1 counter on this thing. I guess blue-black can sometimes cast things from exile. I don't know. I'm like kind of stretching to find reasons why this thing is sort of all these different colors. Yeah, I think your color identity on this one is a 5. This is just mostly a red card, really. Okay, flavor. So the flavor doesn't quite grab me on this one either. I mean, I really like the idea of this card a lot, right? This Demon Parade, adding demons to the Demon Parade makes it bigger. Demons leaving the parade makes it smaller. Like, the idea of that is really, really cool. I just don't think the execution quite works in that way. Like, it's a little strange because, like, okay, so, you know, you want to add a demon to your Demon Parade, so you get a +1/+1 counter if you reveal a demon, but, like, that demon... Oh, I see. You put the +1/+1 counter on it when you sacrifice the demon, so, like, the demon comes in and attacks and then joins the Demon Parade, I guess. I don't see why... I don't quite get this. Is, like, the demon... Is, like, one of the demons casting the spell and then it leaves? Why is it doing that? Like, the first part's kind of getting there, but yeah, you know, the first part's not bad, I think. It's actually kind of funny because for some reason the idea of a demon or devil like coming into play tapped and attacking, it reminds me of like just like a giant float. It's like you get a giant Grizzlebrand float or something like that. I mean, that's kind of cute, but again, I think this really the second clause is like the worst part about the card, and that kind of drags it down a little bit for me. So I'll give you 7 for flavor. I think it's kind of getting there, but it doesn't quite get there all the way. So this one ends up being a 7 out of 10. And yeah, that's actually fairly good. I mean, your presentation and your balance really helped you out there. The other categories I think were a little bit lacking. Again, I think this card would be really cool if this. I mean, I've said this a million times, so I don't need to keep repeating myself. So anyway, that's my review of Demon Parade. Thank you guys for watching. 7 out of 10.